Hi everyone, so we're going to go through the half-term papers and this is homeostasis and responses, so this is B3, and the things that we need to be looking at when we're thinking about this paper are nerves, hormones, and the things that we've learned within those topics. And within this video I'm obviously going to be giving the answers, which are going to be factual, a bit of understanding, but also some exam tips and looking at mark schemes and learning from mark schemes, because the science doesn't change in year to year in terms of the actual science, then there's obviously going to be a lot of repetition in questions. And if we use mark schemes correctly, we can see what the board wants you to say in certain scenarios. And in your exam, it may just be a slightly different type of question for the same kind of topic, and we can learn from mark schemes from previous years. So, question 1. This question is about hormones that control the monthly cycle in women. So we're thinking menstrual cycle, we're thinking about these hormones, FSH, estrogen, LH, progesterone. We're thinking about pituitary and the ovaries are the glands. We're thinking about what each one does. We're thinking about FSH, maturing eggs released by the pituitary. We're thinking about estrogen inhibiting FSH and causing LH to be released. We're thinking about LH causing the egg to be released into the fallopian tube, and then we're thinking about estrogen and progesterone maintaining the thickness of the uterine wall. These are all the things that we should be thinking because we know it, and so when we come to a monthly cycle question, we're looking at those things in our mind, and then what are they going to be asking us? So, hormones control the monthly release of a woman's egg from, and as I've just said, it's ovaries, and we can see here on the right hand side, the mark scheme by the way is on the right hand side of the screen here. Ovaries is the right answer, except ovary singular, fine. Hormones control the release from a woman's ovaries. They also control the thickness and lining of her womb, except uterus. Okay, I prefer uterus actually. Hormones that are given to a woman to stimulate the release of eggs are called fertility drugs. So that's a slightly different nuance from the actual menstrual cycle itself. And hormones that are given to women to prevent the release of eggs are called oral contraceptives. Okay, now if you look at the allow on the right hand side here, guys, you can see it says allow birth control, accept estrogen or progesterone, do not accept pill alone. Now this is what I'm talking about the mark schemes being quite interesting, because look, it says accept estrogen or progesterone. So that is a really good indication that estrogen and progesterone are in the contraceptive pill. So it's a nice little revision tool there. The contraceptive pill contains estrogen and progesterone. Okay, so hopefully you found that fairly easy. And so let's go to question 2. The internal body temperature determines how much a person sweats. The graph shows the effect of different internal body temperatures on a person's rate of energy loss by sweating. Now I've done this in a separate question, and so I'm going to upload that. So can you find the next video which shows that graph as part of the question? Okay. Question 3. The number of cases of type 2 diabetes in the UK is increasing rapidly. Let's just show this. Describe how insulin and glucagon help control the blood sugar concentration in a healthy person. I've also covered that in another video, which is attached to this task, so you can find the answer to that one. Okay, question 4. A woman wants to have a baby. She has been told that her body is not making and releasing eggs. So we're talking about fertility, we're thinking about menstrual cycle, we're talking about hormones. These are the things going in our mind. We're focusing our mind to that part of the syllabus that we know. She's been told that her body is not making and releasing eggs. However, she has thousands of cells which could develop into them. A possible treatment is to give her a hormone called FSH. That's follicle stimulating hormone, which we know is released by the pituitary. This hormone will start the development of these cells. Once the eggs have developed, explain what causes their release. Okay, so this does go back to that first question I was talking about this cycle. And so the FSH is causing eggs to mature. And then this is asking, what is the next part up until their release? So we have got estrogen released by the ovaries, which travels in the blood to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is inhibited by the estrogen of releasing FSH, and the estrogen also stimulates the release of LH, luteinizing hormone, we just need it as LH, which works on the ovaries and causes the egg to be released. Okay, so that's specifically this part of the process. And if we go to the mark scheme here, you can see that it says estrogen is produced, okay, LH is produced, LH produced by the pituitary, LH causes egg release, okay, and then let's just look at the buts here. So estrogen produced at the top, so that's one mark, that's fine. But MB, sequence important here, estrogen produced by ovary. Okay, so as I said, the ovary produces the estrogen. LH is produced, the LH is produced by the pituitary, and LH causes the egg release. So in this question, we are looking at, let's just expand upon this. Let's just go through the science with my ridiculous drawing, okay? We've got the pituitary gland in the head, and we've got the ovaries here, okay? And so what is happening, just to remind us, is that the ovaries are producing estrogen, which goes up to the pituitary gland. The estrogen inhibits FSH. Now that's not on here, but it's extra information and it can't do any harm, and causes release of LH. LH is released from the pituitary, goes back to the ovaries, and LH causes release of the egg. Okay, so are you familiar with that process? Hopefully so. Okay, question 5. A dog runs across the road in front of a car. The driver slams on her foot on the brake. This question is dealt with in another separate question as well. And that is your lot. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is look at the number 1 and 4 are based upon the hormones and the menstrual cycle, and the other questions are dealt with specifically in other videos on this site. If there's any questions at all about anything that arises in any of these questions, then please do email me. Otherwise, I hope you found these videos helpful.